Hi, Scott. ROCKFILE back with another podcast review. Going to talk about the 1999 Jim Jarmusch film, Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, in its Studio Canal 4K edition. I've noticed a lot of people come to the reviews just to hear about the 4K, so we'll get it out of the way. The Blu-ray is Region B. You need an all-region Blu-ray player to access the content I do not have, so I did not watch the extras. The 4K disc, of course, is region free. Looks amazing, sounds amazing, best the movie's ever looked. I've been waiting for Criterion Collection to upgrade their Blu-ray to 4K, and they have not yet. Studio Canal last year put out this very cool Steelbook edition. I couldn't resist. I will, upgrade with the extras from the Criterion Collection, I guess. But anyway, Ghost Dog is a 1999 film from indie director Jim Jarmusch, who, as a movie fan over the years, I've had a kind of a hot-cold relationship with. Some of his movies, like this one, hit me exactly the way I think he intended, or at least a way that is pleasing to me. This movie stuck with me for years. Other movies, like his more recent output, say The Dead Don't Die, a movie that I was very excited to go see. He had an amazing cast and a larger budget, and he really was kind of playing a joke on movie goers, and it was really not funny. And anyway, long story short, I think this is one of his best movies, although some of his earlier works are probably a little bit better as movies go. This was Jim outside of his comfort zone, kind of creating an almost surreal story about a hitman in a large city who follows the samurai way. In modern times, he's a large black man played by Forrest Whitaker, and he works for the mob doing hits. But he's invisible. He gets in and out, and he gets it done, and he never misses. And one of the things in watching this movie now, because it's been years since I've seen the film, what would someone who directed, say, a John Wick movie or a Deadpool do with this story now? I think this would be a great movie to remake. It's been 25 years. Why not? Forrest Whitaker does a great job. All the side players, these are all character actors you've seen in a whole bunch of Italian mob films and that kind of thing. You recognize so many faces in this movie. It's just not, the action scenes are good and violent when they come, don't get me wrong. More of a Sam Peckinpah, almost a surreal, dreamlike thing with some of the martial arts and some of the gunplay and things like that. But that's Jim's style. It would be interesting to see somebody take this idea and do something modern with it. That being said, this is a 1999 film that only had a $2 million budget. It went on to make $9.3 million, so it was considered a hit at the time. Critics really liked it, but it's one of those movies that just kind of disappeared. You don't see it on streaming services a whole lot. You don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it. I think it's a really good movie. Starts with some samurai quotes. It's got some other Way of the Samurai quotes spread throughout the movie. Even at the end, the whole idea of the movie, you have a hip-hop soundtrack that was very modern at the time. It sounds kind of retro now from RZA. It's a really good, gritty, down-to-earth kind of rootsy soundtrack that really kind of grounds the movie, but gives it this vibe, gives it this rhythm. Even the action scenes flow right into the drama scenes, one after the other. It just kind of, the whole movie flows for its under 2-hour runtime. I think it's about an hour and 50 minutes, something along those lines. I've always enjoyed the film. I've always enjoyed Forrest Whitaker's kind of deadpan way of playing it. There's a few times where you see a little emotion, but he's a samurai by training. He's wanted to be a samurai. He follows the way as implicitly as he can because he wants to end his life, as a samurai would, in battle and with his eyes open and all that kind of heroic kind of stuff. Movie probably doesn't have everybody's favorite ending. It doesn't leave a whole lot of room for a sequel. I won't spoil anything because a lot of people have never seen this movie. But it is a really good flick. It's got some of your typical gangland, big city hitman tropes and families whacking each other. But it's a fairly simple story of he's tasked to do something that goes against some of the people in the mob, what they wanted or didn't want or whatever, and then they come after him, which is probably a mistake. About halfway, 2/3 of the movie is when the violence really starts kicking in. There's some isolated things here and there, but most of the kids in the neighborhood know who he is, at least know, I guess, kind of about who he is. As he goes through the movie, most people don't see him, but people that do seem to know him. Most people respect him. Most people smile when they see him, but not any of these mobsters, not any of these characters. When they see him, the look drains out of their face, and they're just not happy. They're just they know what's coming. Almost a la John Wick. Again, watching this movie now in 2024, I just kept thinking, the guys that made John Wick had to see this. He only communicates with carrier pigeon. So he lives on the roof in a little shack next to some carrier pigeons, which sounds like a piece of a John Wick movie. He follows an old samurai way, and he's very stoic and doesn't say a whole lot. And once wronged, he's going to make it right. And there is a lot of parallels to a certain extent, but he's not a hitman who tried to get out of the business. He's fully in the business when we meet him in the movie, and he ends still fully in the business. He feels that this mobster who saved him as a kid is his boss, is his charge. And so no matter how bad this guy is, Forrest Whitaker's character has to work for him. His character's name is Ghost Dog. I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but this is a classic feeling film. The Studio Canal Steelbook is really beautiful artwork, kind of a bronze design on the front with the name of the movie. On the back, it's got the symbols and such, and a lot of pigeons flying up, doves, whatever. It looks very John Woo-ish almost. But funny that Jim Jarmusch doesn't have any of those kind of John Woo kind of scenes with the birds. There's some touching things in the movie. There's some depth that I didn't remember in the movie, but overall it plays out like a 1999 version of a modern action flick with some artistic, stylistic choices. It has a surreal feel in a lot of the scenes. It's, like I said, it's got this urban groove thanks to RZA and the soundtrack. All in all, it was a fun watch again, and something I'm glad I have in the collection to pull out. I am sorry that the most of Studio Canal's output, the 4Ks are all region free, obviously, but the Blu-rays are usually locked region B. When the movie starts, right as you put in the 4K disc, it asks you whether you are Great Britain or Germany, because Studio Canal, this was a disc produced for Germany, also sold in the UK. It's worth the import. It was pretty cheap now. It was pretty expensive last year, but nowadays, I guess because a lot of people won't buy it because of the second disc. I already own the movie on Blu-ray, so I wasn't really concerned whether the Blu-ray worked or not, but there were some new extras on there I'd like to check out. And the other day on Amazon, I saw an all-region Blu-ray player for, I think, just under or just over $100, which might be worth picking up, because I do have a few imports where I can't play the Blu-ray, which would have some extra features on it. For those that don't know, in the home video world, with the advent of 4K discs, about 99.9% of 4K discs are region free. They did away with region codes after Blu-ray. It was to keep piracy down in the DVD and Blu-ray days. In 4K, I guess it's not so much an issue now. People are going to pirate it or not. 4Ks are maybe bigger files. I don't know what the deal is, but we got rid of region coding when 4K discs come out, so you don't have to worry about that. You can import 4Ks from all over the world and watch them in your PlayStation 5 and your latest Sony or latest Xbox or any 4K player. I really enjoyed Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai. If you can find it on a streaming service, definitely check it out. I highly recommend the Criterion Collection Edition, which is available now. I think it's on sale for about $20 right now. Might be worth picking up. And then there's this Studio Canal version that you can get from UK Amazon for about $25, which is not bad at all. Anyway, check it out if you've never seen it. Jim Jarmusch, like I said, he's kind of a give or take, hot and cold kind of director. I like a lot of his movies. A couple others hit me cold. This is one of my favorites from him. Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai. It's available all over now. Came out in 1999. Made a decent amount of money. Critics like it. You might like it too. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts on the way. Thank you for listening. Have a spectacular day.